So, we are talking about how to purify the mind. Yasna, there are 6 groups of practices that we discussed. One of them is known as the yasna. Yasna has many definitions. One of them we covered is sacrificing. You see that at present we are meeting together. We have to maintain our awareness. And the moment you say hello, namaste is okay. But what is inside your emotional and mental state towards a person? That needs to be sacrificed here and now. You have certain reservation or reaction to anyone, and instantly, mentally, you sacrifice that. That is the art of yasna. I am saying outside, hello, how are you? But inside, there are a lot of things going on. Is it not true? Tell me. Every time something goes on with our behavior may be wonderful outside, but our emotional content perhaps is the worst, and that is why we enter into the stress and anxiety. So, yasna means, oh, let me sacrifice this also at this moment. So, when you sacrifice, your mind outside and inside are the same, and that purifies your mind. It has to be done all the time, 24 by 7. You're talking to your honey and you had a past impression of last year. Oh, he told me or she told me, and now she is saying or he is saying like this. I have to sacrifice. Look at the role of yajna. If we don't do that, we carry forward those impressions, and that results into fight, blame, complaint, reaction, divorce, etc. It's a long list. That is the one definition of the yajna we have covered. Second is that I have to recognize the false notion. That is also yajna. Where is yajna? Then I have to recognize the false notions that this mind is living with, that I am a self-made man or woman. So first let us understand what are the false notions, and then we first we should understand what are the false notions, then we should recognize them. The moment you recognize them, your mind starts losing, dropping them. So first level is to recognize. Philosophically and pragmatically, these false notions are cause created by the ignorance of our true nature. Ignorance is caused by the vasanas that we have already covered, the past impressions, the storehouse of the memory. And from the vasana, we have an imagined perception of pain and the pleasure. And from there, the desire comes, and desire has the 6 enemies. We already understood. If you don't, then you have to go back and listen to the last 5 or 6 talks. And that desire converts into the 6 enemies, and it results into the impure states of the mind. So that impure states of the mind has a false notion in it. Where is a false notion? You wake up in the morning and your mind says, I am upset. You cannot be upset. The real self cannot be upset. The real self is of the nature of peace and happiness. So you don't recognize at that particular moment. So once you are upset and that upset continues to increase, it changes your emotions in the thought, and the whole day passes. So the false notion First false notion, now look at the other way around. So first I am the body, body has a pain, then I have a pain. It is a false notion. And we carry forward this false notion in our daily life. I'm a father, you don't listen to me, it's a false notion. Internally, I have to recognize I should have the cognitive ability, a sense of cognition. It is purely a mental, emotional, and intellectual exercise of the yajna to recognize this. Because I am a father, hence you should listen to me. It's not a rule. Hence, I'm your husband, so you should listen to me. Or I'm your wife, you should listen to me. Normally, sometimes the wives are very pushy. Why you do this? Why don't you do this? Do like this? Do like that? So you are already creating a trouble to your life. Do it. Do it. So you are creating a trouble to your life. No, I'm so pushy. My mind is not at calm and peace. And that is another source of creating a false notion in our life. Unless we drop it, the false notion will continue. Do whatever you want to do. You may be a highly intelligent and a wonderful speaker and wonderful in your profession. You have billions of dollars and you keep those false notions, you are not happy. You are not happy at all. Something bites you inside and you become pushy. And what bites you I have already explained to you. Sometimes, people have a habit of scratching either their head or shoulders, while talking. So the mind scratches you with a false notion. So do it and so suffer. Yajna is to recognize the false notion. I am a self-made man. It means whatever I do in terms of I have earned some wealth, I have had some possessions, for example, and I say that I am a self-made man. Really? So our master says that, hold on, wait. What you did, you worked. Yes. And I earned money. Did you create the money? No, I did not create the money. It belongs to the world. So how can you say that you are a self-made man? Put a right logic. Just with everything, what happens by this exercise at the mental and contemplative level, you are dropping the very attachment. You are dropping the clinging to the world by recognizing these false notions, and your mind becomes pure. The pure mind is calm. Why it happens? Because of the non-thinking. I don't think. So, no, I think a lot. No, I think a lot with a false notion. Non-thinking means that I have a irrational thinking, I have an impulsive ideas and emotions by which I start working in my life, and that causes lot of problems in our day-to-day living. Day-to-day living, what to talk about if we have some fight. So the cause of this false notion, first is the ignorance, second is the delusion, third is the illusion. Illusion means the word, it appears true, which is not true. Delusion, it is in the mind, and both are caused by the ignorance. So this false notion about oneself arise from whatever is going on inside my head in terms of impulsive nature, and that impulsive ideas and the thoughts have become my habit, and from that habit I start working in my daily living. That is what the non-thinking is, and that results into lot of challenges. You wake up in the morning, since you wake up in the morning until you sleep, you have lot of those thoughts that is surrounding your mind about your honey, about your son, about your daughter, about the money. What the heck, I lost that money because you acted wrongly, so you lost the money. So you keep on thinking about, I don't have enough money. Unnecessarily. So these thoughts associated with the emotions prevents you to live in peace and happiness, and it causes the wrong notion. All the time, wrong notions. Why? Pay attention. I am my thoughts and emotions. I am attached to my thoughts and emotions. Any thought can enter into my mind. On the highway, any vehicle can come. What to worry about it? I have to observe, I have to separate it, but I am not able to separate. I get attached to it and I create a false notion. How? By that I am my thought, I am my emotion. My worth is determined by the external factors. I spent 2 hours before the mirror and you have no time to appreciate me. I spent 2 hours in front of the mirror, putting everything, and honey, you don't have time to appreciate me. So my worth is determined by the external factors. That also creates a false notion. So I have to remember, I have to live into that state, my worth. Happiness comes from fulfilling desires. That is one of the major role. This thought plays a major role on creating a false notion in our daily living. What? Happiness comes from fulfilling desires. I have to remember this and I have to apply this internally, emotionally. When I get emotional, when I get upset, when I get emotional and upset and anxious, it is only because I have a false notion. My happiness comes from fulfilling the desires. I already told you, desire means I'm seeking something. I have projected happiness outside in a person, in a relations, in a situation, in a position. Imagined happiness. It is not the real happiness. I go to a restaurant to eat pasta. I get imagined happiness in the pasta. So look at it. Couple of factors. There are many factors, but first factor, I am my thought and emotions. I am not able to separate. Why I am not able to separate? Because of non-thinking. Who is non-thinking living creatures? All the animals. So how the animal works through their intelligence, through the impulsive nature, through the instinctive nature. So what will happen to me because of that non-thinking status of my mind or intellect? I will follow the animal instinct, impulsive nature. And impulsive nature is always with the false notion. Second, my worth is determined by the external factors. Any external factors. Happiness comes from fulfilling the desires. I have to become aware. I was so excited to fulfill this desire. Now this desire is fulfilled. Nothing happened. I lived in 10-bedroom house with a maid house which is separate with a big swimming pool, and where? In Indonesia. But I always realize that I'm sleeping only in one room, only one bed. I was a diplomat for 3 to 4 years with the entire family. Then I landed here. I lived in a New Jersey house which was hardly one bedroom. Can I change? Did my mind change? No. I have to see that my mind is not impacted by anything outside. I am separate from others. That is a big false notion. I am separate from others. I am a different guy. You see that how beautiful, how intelligent I am. And there are people who are more intelligent. You say you are the most beautiful, someone become more beautiful than. There is no superlative degree in the world. No superlative. Bill Gates has used to be the richest guy for the last 10 years. Now Elon Musk is. Before that, Warren Buffett was there. Now Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are alternating. On 1 month, one becomes the richest and other becomes the richest. I have to understand, contemplate and reflect. You are the best in your profession. Let me appreciate you. But I should not create a jealousy and a competitive nature in my mind. Internally we create, we don't say it outside. Do you see that? We don't say in outside, but we create that. So I have to check my mind. I have to become aware. No, 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 no. I should not create this false notion. I'm in control. Really? If I'm in control, then why I have a gray beard? How simple it is to think in this way. I'm in control. It's a big ego. I'm in control. Nobody is in control except the existence. Make your mind totally clear, open, soft, and gentle. No one is in control. If someone says appreciate it and move ahead. I'm always right. How many of you think I'm always right? Especially with the honey, especially with the close relations. I'm always right. And you see, because of that false notion, it has created a lot of problems. One husband was saying me that that is what was the feeling, and that is the reason I divorced 5 times. He has the sixth wife here. He lives in Arizona. I said, when you are going to say that I am wrong and you are right, at least I'll be free from you. No, 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 I'm realizing it. I'm realizing it. And that is why I have come to you, because I don't want to divorce now. I have to recognize that I am always right. I am in control. This is also a false notion. I have to recognize this moment your mind says you have to sacrifice this. That is what, no, let me sacrifice. This does not live in my house. Can I tell you some more? I am a victim of circumstances. I am a victim of circumstances. That is also a false notion. We love it. We live with it. We create an impulsive nature. And then we move with that impulsive nature, and we cannot get rid of the false notion. Another false notion. I am my past. What a great life I had 10 years ago. You are living in the present moment. Come on. I should not have married you. It has been 20 years now. I'm living in the past. Really? You are such a special creature? You think in this way? And they create a lot of challenges, because one thought multiplies. And that multiplication creates an emotional and a mental state. And that mental and the emotional state causes lot of suffering in our life. So these are some of the false notion that we create in our life. First thing, what to do? I have to recognize these false notion in my life. I have to recognize them. I have not to get carried away by these false notion. These thought enters into my mind associated with an emotion, and then I get carried away. That is what I say is a non-thinking. I don't question. How come I am a victim of circumstances? How come I am the past? I don't think. You see that I get carried away by these thoughts associated with an emotions, but I don't think. So when I don't think, thinking thought is conscious approach. So from that conscious thinking comes a cognitive ability. And that cognitive ability reasons out the cause and effect, and we recognize this is what, this is the false notion. My mind has adopted a false notion, I need to drop it. If you don't question it, I am my past. You are either a Romeo or a Juliet, I'm my past. Romeo and Juliet is it is a fantasy story. It has nothing to do with the reality. But we create a fantasy and we say it is a real life. Look at my honey, look at my husband, look at my wife, look at my neighbor. I look at everyone except I look at myself. Yajna is to recognize those false notions. First step is I have to recognize it. How to recognize? Intellectually. What is intellectual in that process? Any thought enters into my head and it starts moving in a direction of my anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Hold on, wait. First, let me examine you, scrutinize you. Let me put you into the reason, the cause and effect of the reason. And once you recognize, you contemplate and reflect, you result into that it is a false notion caused by the ignorance and the delusion and the illusion. And it is because of the past impressions, the storehouse of my impressions. You have an intense desire to live in a palace. So once you have a physical maturity, your parents insist you to get married. So you are still in the mode of non-thinking. So that non-thinking, impulsive mode saw a handsome guy and you get attracted. You are married now. But that guy has a very humble house, not a palace. So what to do with that idea and thought of the palace that you had dreamed in your childhood? Now they will resurface. And then the problem of false notion starts. I'm giving you one example. One example of that. And it kills us, it destroys us, it causes the anxiety, the fear, the duality, and the conflict all the time. I live into that state of the false notion all the time. Have you not seen those people with their sad and remorse face as if, every day one person dies in their family, they have such a sad face? How many members in their family? Only he is single. That is the role of the false notion. So yajna is to recognize the false notion of being a self-made man, and then once you recognize intellectually, By reflection, it has to go. You feel at ease. You recognize, oh, that is what I need to do. You have already purified the mind. Why? Because now those notions will not return to you. But it has to be done repeatedly. Eyes are closed. Close your eyes, the place, position, and the posture. Find out the place where you are going for meditation. So casually your eyes are closed gently, and then you become aware of the space all around your body and the room, and then the posture. And that is the right approach, because the moment you start moving the mind within consciously, I'll tell you frankly, if you understand 100%, you recognize and realize what it means by moving the mind within. You are calm here and now. And that is why I employ the step of being comfortable looking at the neck joint. No, not only neck joint, you look deep inside the neck joint. Why? We ask the mind to go deeper. No, I don't see any shape in the form and color. No problem. Just going deep inside, root of the joint, and stay there. You will experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. You did nothing. You shifted your awareness and attention from outside to inside. That sense of awareness and a cognitive ability we need to succeed in meditation. And it takes time. Look at the shoulder joints being there. Yes, looking deep inside, root of the shoulder. We have to do nothing with the shoulder joints. But yes, we have to use them. So it is the way to move the mind within and experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body. Look at all the joints of the body, starting from, just take a journey and look at and your mind knows, because of these joints there is a mobility in the body. And that mobility does not come from the skin of the joint surface, no. It is at the root. So every time the mind goes deep inside and you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Second step that we always do, understand in a different way, being carefree. I gave you a couple of examples like the sky. Now understand that I have nothing to do with the traffic on the highway. But through becoming aware of the traffic on the highway, I know there is a highway, nothing happens to the highway. So mental traffic are the thoughts, and the mind is nothing but the highway. Nothing happens to the highway. That is what another way to understand. That is the way to be carefree. So that is the meaning we say thoughts are coming and going, let it come and go. The way nothing happens to the sky, the millions of the birds fly there, planes and the satellites, the sky is the sky. Not even a millimeter or inch happens to the sky. Do I have that awareness of the mind, deeper layer of the mind where nothing happens and any thought comes and goes? That is what we have to prepare ourselves for meditation. And now looking deep inside the forehead in the space. Again, I'm where we are going. We are moving the mind within to that point from where the mind can reflect. The world outside is different and separate from me. So I gave you those bites. You look inside the forehead in the space, look at the space. There you drop Shanto hum gently and mentally. Shanto hum, Shanto hum, Shanto hum. And at the same time, you start breathing quick and fast from the chest. You are doing gently Shantoham, your body is steady and you are breathing quick and fast. Can the mind manage all the three things together? And if it can manage, you are already deeper. That is the thing. It is neither the breathing nor the mantra. But yes, we have to use the mantra, we have to use the breathing, we have to use the stillness of the body. I'm taking you to another level of understanding. Continue. Quick and fast breathing, Shantoham, is done gently and mentally in the state of steadiness in the state of steadiness in the body. And now stop it, experience the changes, acknowledge and accept those changes, maybe of blankness, maybe of relaxation, maybe of energy or the freshness. And looking inside the head, now you can easily understand after the today's talk, Asato Ma Satgamaya. The mantra is Asato Ma Satgamaya, means moving from the false to the real, moving from the false notion to the real notion, moving from the false to the truth. So you have to recognize these false notions in your life anytime you are anxious, reactive, blame, complain, and I have told you all those thoughts. You have to simply say in your mind, oh, you mind you're in false notion? Anxiety, hesitation, pressure from the world outside. Because pressure from the world outside means my happiness is determined by the external factors. That is why I have a pressure. Otherwise, nothing outside from the world creates a pressure on you. And why it happens? I told you three factors of false notion: ignorance, delusion, and illusion. What is the ignorance? Second line. That is why the master is saying, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. You have to say in your mind, what is moving from ignorance to wisdom? How do I recognize that I'm in ignorance? The moment you are surrounded by stress, anxiety, duality, blame, complaint, reaction, anger, upset, unconscious, habitual, impulsive nature. It is the ignorance. Oh, so let me recognize. That is the first step. After only recognition, your mind will be inspired to work. So then what happens? we move from Mrityoremamritangamaya. Where is the meaning? Literal meaning is moving from the mortality to immortality. Knowledge is that freedom from the bondage is there. Bondage causes the suffering. Living with the false notion is a bondage. It binds me. I'm anxious about you. I reacted to you. I don't want to talk to you. It's a bondage. But when my mind is free, you come, I'll talk to you. If you don't come, it's okay. So this three-liner mantra gives you the right great message. And in that state, look at the head and the neck now. Means the mind is aware of the head. Again, we are looking that mind, you should not be outside, you should move inside. So look at the head and the neck, maybe the skin of the head and the neck, and experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And then look inside the head and the neck. Look inside, you will say emptiness is there, okay. Blankness is there, okay. The space is there, okay. You keep looking at it, regularly practicing, you will see the light, you will see many other things. So that will indicate, oh yes, we are moving slowly into the journey of meditation. Look at the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. Be there. Experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And then look inside the head and the neck. So when you look inside the head and the neck, you don't want to see the sun and the moon and other objects of the world. You just stay there. You are aware of the movement of the mind inside. That is enough. Don't create a pressure on your mind. Move the mind on the left arm. Be there. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness on the skin of the left arm. And then look inside. Moving the mind on the middle portion of the body from the shoulder to the waist. Outside on the skin, you experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So that sensation may be tingling, maybe freezing, maybe cold, maybe heat. So that indicates the movement of the mind inside, and they are good experiences. Look inside the heart and the space. Move the mind on the right leg and on the skin. Experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look inside. Look at the left leg. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Look inside. The entire body, from the top of the head to the toes, as you move the mind on the skin of the body, you will experience deepening of the sensation, relaxation, and stillness, provided you don't move the body. Moving the body means mind wants to rush outside subconsciously. instinctively, impulsively. In the beginning. After that, nothing matters. Now, in that state of sensation, relaxation, stillness, you're looking inside, maybe inside the heart. And from there, you're looking at the breath. No change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. The moment the breath goes in on the breath, you drop Shantoham, means I am the peace. The breath comes out, you drop Shantoham, means I am the peace. Other thoughts may come, let it come. You drop the Om Shanto, you just simply drop Shantoham. Don't get carried away by the thought or emotion. Reminding you no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Body relays into the state of stillness. From inside, you're looking at the breath going in and coming out, gentle breath. And on that, you are dropping Shantoham. Yes, if any thought comes, you drop the Shantoham on that thought also. And see that it's a smooth sailing of Shantoham with every breath going in and coming out. Shantoham. So the last step of the practice should be continued when you do on your own. Even if in audio recording you see that I say you to stop it, but you continue. And when you are able to lengthen the period of the last step, you will recognize how powerful the practice is. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences, bring the hands down, and we'll share our experiences. How are you, Sophie?
I am good, Girish. I realize that often I tense my body like I want to do so good.
Yeah, yeah. That is coming from the impulsive mind. Yes, we have to maintain awareness. The moment you become aware of that, okay, let me move to the normal state again. Yes, it's a very
Thank you.
subtle thing that you noticed. How are you, Charlie?
Hi. I was deep inside. I could hear you. I was just in a quiet space.
Quiet space. Very good. Quiet space. It means you heard me very patiently and with a focus. Oh, very good. How are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I don't think I had any bad notions during the practice. So okay.
Very good. There should not be any bad notion from today onward.
Life.
Life. Yes, how are you, Anne? Very good. That too is very good. That state is very good.
Yeah, I feel quiet. I noticed I was not always aware all the time. So,
Yes, that is what our Eastern wisdom says. You feel quiet and calm, that's one thing. But that recognition that I'm not always aware of the thoughts going on into my mind, and when I'm not aware, that takes me away and with the false notion. So it happens with everyone. So just by consistent, committed practice with an aim to change our life will help us. Very good. How are you, Mead?
I feel very peaceful, and I'm sensing for such a long time I've been dependent on people and events outside myself for my happiness.
Yeah.
And little by little, this practice has allowed me to come more deeply connected to myself, and
Yes.
I don't need that outside source so much anymore.
Yes. As long as impulsively mind does not say that I depend my happiness on you. That is already there at a very deeper level of our mind that we don't express. How we express? We express by anguishness, by anxiety. No, you didn't come to me, you didn't call me. Why should I call you? You didn't call me. Unnecessary. So we impose the authority that means I'm still seeking happiness from the world outside. Lot of stuff, these are very subtle points to be understood. And that happens normally in relationship, with close relationship, whom I say the friend. And the friend turns out to be an enemy. Anyhow, that is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again next week.